do you think is going to happen in that series? There's obviously no Kawhi. Paul George, we were talking off camera. When he was in Indiana, I thought he was a really good playoff performer. It's almost like when he gets another guy, he takes a back seat. He almost becomes he goes from like an alpha to a beta, where he's like, I'll let that guy do it. And he's been great since Kawhi went out. What do you make of this guy?
He's way too chill of a personality to be like that killer on the court. Like, you don't always have to be like a Kobe where you're almost like forcing your character too much. But I just think that with him, and he showed it recently, because I'm not the biggest Paul George guy, and I don't know who is at this point. But he's showing us now that as a lead guy or whatever it is, like he had the embarrassment last year too. Maybe to answer my own question, he's probably the last guy that was embarrassed playoff the pandemic in the side of the backboard. And hit the side of the backboard, like, with the one leg kind of like hanging. Yeah. It's like, what do you do that? But for me, I always look back at the injury he had in the USA where his leg like snapped in half. And now what Paul George has really become, and when that injury happened, I don't think anybody thought he was going to be even close to this guy, right? But he just secured the bag, got like a $200+ million contract. Not like Ballmer and those guys had any other options after they gave everything up for him. But you talked about like guys going to the rim. We didn't talk about the blast with Embiid. You said like when he goes to the rim, I feel like he's going to break or something, right? And Paul George, he settles for a lot of jumpers, and when the jumpers are there, he looks incredible, right? It's almost like Durant shooting from three. You're like, okay, like this guy's going to hit it. He's 6'9", he's going to shoot over guys. But I think that injury really scared him to going to the net. And it's almost like when, you burn your hand on the stove when you're a kid and you learn your lesson, you never go back. And you see it with Westbrook, even him, like he's a guy that doesn't attack as fierce as he used to. Because the injuries add up for everybody as you go on. Even if there's non-contact, there's bodies that want to hit you down, and there's just, you don't have the explosiveness anymore, and you don't want to get beat up. And I think that with Paul George, when he is attacking the rim, even just a little bit, like, it's like you set up the run in football to throw the pass. And if you're not going to jab, if you're not going to like go to the net every once in a while, I think that's going to limit his effectiveness. But, to his credit, he's mixed it up recently. And I think that's really been the biggest thing. Not having Kawhi there, he knows you don't have to kind of like take possessions off. You're zoned in, you do your thing for a while, and they're winning games.
I think it's a great point that I think we don't talk about it, that in the back of your head, that injury is always going to be there. And the greats can maybe block it out, but it's hard. I mean, anybody that's been hurt knows that, like, when you get near a situation like that, like I've been hurt before in a situation, and it's like whenever I get in that situation, it's in my mind that it's going to happen again. But if
you're going into a corner, you get from behind as a kid, you probably will never be confident going into the corner again for the rest of your life.
Yeah, totally. Oh, totally. And I